Let's talk about the sparkle lights from ShineBySD. I bought 8 out of the 12 shades. These are really dimensional, very sparkly, beautiful, more on the sheer side kind of shades, and I think these are going to be for sure an everyday staple for me. So these are each about $17 USD, or if you want to get the bundle of all 12, it is $206 USD, give or take a couple of cents, and you can use a code to get some money off. I used Riley's code Seeking Shifts and I saved $1.71 per shadow, so this brings it down almost $2. So these are basically $15 a pop. These do have a little bit more of a texture to them, and they are on the drier side as ShineBySD formula is, which I love that because I will get minimal creasing, if any creasing at all. So I'm going to be showing you detailed swatches of each of the shade, a couple of comparison swatches, which it was really hard to find comparisons for these because they are definitely custom shades that just have a bunch of sparkles throughout them, and then I will be showing you 2 looks. So let's get right into it. First up is Luminosity, and this is described as a predominantly purple base with green gold shift and sparkles. I do see pink as well, especially straight on, and it's got just a little bit of like a light beige base to it, but it is definitely very, very sheer. Great for everyday for sure. I think all of these are really great everyday kind of shades. Stunner is a silvery reddish pink base with green sparkles throughout. I see pink sparkles as well, and even a little bit aqua depending on the lighting. In general, the way that these are described on the website, it seems like the base they're talking about the straight on flash versus the base in terms of when I talk about base, which is what you see on kind of like an angle like here. So it looks like it has a little bit of a light yellowish brown base to it, and it is super extra sparkly. Charm is a pinky red base with silvery green sparkles throughout. It looks pretty peachy in the pan, and I think even swatch I definitely see a bit of a peach and red gold sparkles throughout. In terms of base, it does have just a tad bit of a base. Super sparkly and very dimensional. Flash is a lime green gold base with silvery pink sparkles throughout. Definitely lots of pink sparkles. They almost look a little bit ultraviolet depending on the lighting. It's a very dimensional, beautiful greenish silver kind of shade. It has maybe ever so slightly brown beige base to it, but it is very, very topper-like, very sheer. I would say the green is more predominant than the pink sparkles and the silver. Scintillating is described as having a green base with pinkish red sparkles throughout. I don't think it's a green base. I think there's a flash of green straight on. Peachy base, and in a certain angle, I can see a very, very light purple shift. Glow is so interesting. It is described as having a fiery red base with a slight rose gold shift and green gold sparkles. Lots of the green, especially straight on, and then in the shift is where I really see the pink. But then when you're looking at the green, you also see really bright red sparkles mixed throughout. And I think this one has a little bit of a lighter brown base to it, especially like here on the angle, but it does shift to a pink. Incandescent is a golden red base with green sparkles throughout. I also see some aqua sparkles depending on the lighting, and it does have a light brown base to it. I think the shift is not very, very predominant, but the sparkles are sparkling. There's just so many flecks throughout this shade. Super dimensional. And the last shade is Glow Up, which has a warm golden base with green red sparkles throughout. This shade and Incandescent are very, very similar. I would recommend picking one over the other. This one is more green, but they do have that same light brown base to it. And the other main difference is Incandescent has those bright red sparkles throughout it, and this shade doesn't. They also both shift to a very similar purple. So if you prefer green, then I would go for this one over the other. Picking up this darkest shade, and I'm just gonna pop that onto the outer corner and up into my crease, and just bring it about halfway in the crease, and then underneath my lower lash line, just packing on a bit more. Then I'm taking this shade and I'm gonna pop that right above it and into the inner corner to just blend that out. Dipped back for some more, putting it onto the outer corner, just blending out that orange that I laid down. And then I'm picking up the dark brown, and that's just gonna go right out here, closest to my lash line and underneath my lower lash line just a little bit, just to deepen it up in here. Just a tad. Just gonna packing it on. And then I'm gonna go back to the blending brush and just blend it right in here. Taking some of Fahrenheit Pixie Epoxy to put on my lid. Picked up Charm, and as you can see, it picks up a little bit chunky. So I'll probably have a bit of fallout. So I'm actually gonna switch to my pinky. This is what it picks up on my pinky. The pressure really just helps with that to make it smoother. And then I'm just tapping it and swiping it on my lid. Oh, that is so pretty. This is such a stunning everyday shade. I see a little bit of pink flecks throughout it and green as well, but it is very, very sparkly. It does have a bit of a translucent base to it, so it's not fully opaque. Here's the first finished look. For the second look, I want to use Flash. It's a little bit of a kind of silvery green. So for this one, I want to pair some more cooler tones. So I'm dipping into this shade, and I'm just going to pack it in my crease. Then picking up this shade in the corner, gonna pop that onto the outer corner here. And a little bit underneath my lower lash line as well. Then I'm taking this shade and I'm gonna pop that right above where I put down the mauvey plummy shade. And I'm just blending everything out a little bit. I'm gonna go back in with the plummy shade. Just bring it back in here. Putting down some Fahrenheit Pixie Epoxy all over the lid. Picked up Flash and I'm just gonna tap it on top. Here's a second finished look. So I'm currently wearing Stunner, which is this shade right here, with the Blend Money Longing Palette Matte. What a combination, and it is definitely one of my favorite shades in here in terms of just rainbow sparkles, but it's not holographic, and it's more sheer and topper-like. I feel like I'm kind of all set with these 8. I don't feel like I want to go and purchase the rest of the shades that I don't have, mostly because there's some similarities between these. So if you're really wanting to purchase some of these, I would say get like 2 or 3, and I feel like you will be all set. As I mentioned, Stunner is definitely a favorite, and Flash as well are my top shades. Also, I forgot to mention this palette is from Krypton Cosmetics. I will link it down in the description box. I did buy it. In my personal gauge on what is worth it to me, I definitely think these are worth it for $15 each with the coupon code. While they are a little bit textured, it's not necessarily like a super flaky texture that's really hard to use. I think these will kind of, especially if you use your finger and you kind of swipe them on, I think these will kind of melt into your skin in a sense. But as someone with hooded oily lids, I will definitely be using some sort of a tacky primer, as I do experience fallout usually with a lot of eyeshadows, especially ones that have a little bit more texture to them. So I want to make sure to prevent that. I love how sparkly these are, and I think that they're so versatile because of all the different sparkles in it. I think you could really use these with a wide variety of mattes. So I'm really, really glad I got these. I'm still very excited about these. I've had these for a couple weeks now, and I've just been reaching for these non-stop. So let me know in the comments below if you purchased any of these and what you think of them. I would love to hear your thoughts. And that's everything with this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you next time.